Good news, your Social Security benefits are going up. Social Security is a very important program for many people in America. It provides a steady income for retirees, people with disabilities, and families who have lost a wage earner. These benefits help them pay for essential things they need every single day. There has been some good news recently for everyone who receives these benefits. The amount of money they get in their monthly payments has seen an increase. This increase is particularly helpful because the cost of everyday items like food, housing, and medicine can often go up, making it harder to manage. This helpful increase is officially called a cost of living adjustment, or COLA. For the current year, 2025, this COLA has been set at 2.5%. This means that your regular monthly Social Security benefit payment will be a little bit bigger than it was last year. The government makes this kind of adjustment to help ensure that your Social Security money keeps its purchasing power. The goal is to try and match the rise in everyday costs, so your benefits don't fall behind when prices for goods and services increase over time. So, what does a 2.5% increase actually mean for your personal budget? Let's look at an example. If you were receiving a Social Security benefit of $1,000 each month before this adjustment, you will now receive $1,025 per month. This is an extra $25. To put it another way, for every $100 you used to get from Social Security, you will now get an additional $2.50. While this might seem like a small amount, this little bit extra can certainly help with buying groceries, paying utility bills, or covering other necessary expenses for many individuals and families. It is important to understand that this cost of living adjustment happens almost every year. It is not a special, one-time bonus payment that you will only see this year. Instead, it is a regular and expected change designed to help seniors, disabled individuals, and other beneficiaries. People who rely heavily on their Social Security payments can then better manage their personal finances and plan for the future. They have some assurance that their payments will attempt to keep pace with the ongoing effects of inflation on their living expenses. Many people who receive Social Security benefits are understandably keen to know exactly when they will get their money each month. The Social Security Administration has a clear payment schedule. If your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your payment is generally sent out on the second Wednesday of May. If your birthday is between the 11th and the 20th of the month, your payment is scheduled for the third Wednesday. In fact, tomorrow, May 21st, 2025, is a payment day for this particular group of beneficiaries. Continuing with the payment schedule, if your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st of the month, you can expect to receive your Social Security payment on the fourth Wednesday of May. There are a few exceptions to this schedule. For instance, individuals who started receiving their Social Security benefits before May of 1997 usually get their payments on the third day of each month. Additionally, if you receive Supplemental Security Income, often called SSI, that money is typically paid on the first of each month. So, it is a good idea to check your calendar according to your birth date or benefit type. Recently, there have been some discussions and perhaps some rumors circulating about a large $2,800 check being sent out from Social Security. It is very important to understand that this is not accurate for most people. There is no new, special, or universal payment of $2,800 being distributed to all Social Security beneficiaries. Sometimes information can get misunderstood or spread quickly as a rumor, especially online. Therefore, it is always best to get your information directly from official Social Security Administration sources or their website. To clarify, the average Social Security retirement payment for an individual is now approximately $1,999.97 per month, and this amount already includes the recent 2.5% COLA increase. It is true that some people who had very high earnings during their working years and therefore paid more into the Social Security system might receive a higher monthly benefit amount. For these high earners, their regular monthly payment could be around $2,800 or even more, up to a maximum possible benefit. However, this is their standard monthly entitlement, not a new extra check being sent to everyone. It is useful to understand how these increases in Social Security benefits, like the annual COLA, are actually decided. The cost of living adjustment is typically an automatic process that happens each year. It is directly based on a specific measure of inflation, which tracks how much the prices of common goods and services are increasing. If these prices go up by a certain calculated amount, then Social Security benefits are adjusted upwards as well. This adjustment is determined by a formula that is already set in the law that governs Social Security. The United States Congress, which includes the House of Representatives and the Senate, has the important role of overseeing the entire Social Security program. Lawmakers in Congress can make significant changes to how Social Security works, including how it is funded or if there are major reforms to the system. However, the specific percentage for the yearly COLA is not usually something that members of Congress vote on each and every time. The 2.5% COLA for 2025, for example, is already in effect because of this established automatic calculation system based on inflation data. Looking ahead, experts and organizations are already making predictions about what the COLA might be for next year. The Senior Citizens League, which is a nonpartisan advocacy group that focuses on issues affecting older Americans, has forecasted that the COLA for the year 2026 might be around 2.4%. If this prediction turns out to be accurate, this would mean a slightly lower adjustment compared to the 2.5% COLA that beneficiaries received for the current year, 2025. It would also represent the lowest COLA increase since the 1.3% adjustment back in 2021. To put these numbers into a broader context, the COLA was significantly higher in the recent past. For example, in 2023, beneficiaries saw a large COLA of 8.6% due to high inflation at that time. Then, in 2024, the COLA was 3.2%. So, when compared to these larger increases, a 2.4 or 2.5% COLA can feel quite small to many people who are trying to keep up with their expenses. In fact, a survey conducted by the Senior Citizens League indicated that a large majority of respondents felt that the 2.5% increase for 2025 was not quite enough to cover the rising costs they experience in their daily lives. The Social Security Administration, often referred to as the SSA, is the government agency responsible for managing and distributing all these important benefits. It is a very large organization with many responsibilities. However, at this time, the SSA is reportedly facing some significant operational challenges. One of the main concerns is that they might have fewer people working there than they need to handle the workload. There have been news reports suggesting that the agency plans to reduce its staff numbers by a considerable amount, potentially by thousands of employees. When an organization has fewer workers but the amount of work stays the same or even increases, it can lead to various problems. There are already reports of long waiting times, often called backlogs, for some of the SSA's services. This situation means that it might take a longer period than usual for people to get the help they need from the agency. For example, it could take more time to process new applications for benefits, to get answers to important questions about payments, or to resolve any issues that beneficiaries might have. This can understandably be a source of frustration for many people. It is important to remember that approximately 69 million Americans receive some form of Social Security benefits every single month. This is a very large number of people who depend on the smooth functioning of the SSA. The agency does have a new leader. A new commissioner for the Social Security Administration was confirmed by the Senate in May 2025. Having stable and effective leadership is particularly crucial, especially when an agency is navigating difficulties such as staffing shortages and service backlogs. The SSA's main goal is to ensure everyone gets their correct payments on time. So, what does all of this information mean for you as a Social Security beneficiary? On the positive side, your benefits have indeed increased slightly this year due to the cost of living adjustment. However, it is also wise to be aware that the Social Security Administration might be operating more slowly than usual due to the challenges it faces. It may be helpful to exercise patience if you need to contact them or are waiting for a service. Staying informed about your Social Security is always a good practice. You can check the official SSA website for any news, updates, or changes that might affect you or your benefits.